is the frequency in use. Is the frequency in use. Alrighty then, this K4 PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Very good. If there's any emergencies, please call 911, or you can call us as a secondary measure. We'll be glad to help out or in where we can, and the net may be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic. For information on the net, you can see us on our website, 146415.net. That's just like our frequency, except no decimal. Or you can look on our Yahoo groups, MJ_SS, or you can look us up by calling me at, well, notifying me at Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at ARRL.net. That's my email address. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night, and various times during the week just to have fun. The purpose of the net is to support and train ham radio operators for emergency communications. Of course, that's on 146415 is where we do the net. FM Simplex, in case you were wondering. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events, activities, and training in support of the local community. Does anybody have any announcements relating to ham radio or, well, any other hobbies? Knitting, railroading, hat collecting, etc. Hey, what's up there, Steve? Yes, very good. I'm glad you said that. The Bowling Green Ham Fest, it's October 6th, and that is at, I believe it's the Nicely Center. It's at, you can look it up on the web, because I know if you look up Bowling Green Ham event, I did that recently, but what's the name of the center again? Yeah, it's at Carroll Lane and Nashville Road. All right, it's on the corner of Campbell Road and Nashville Lane, and of course you can look that up on the net for where they're having. That's the Bowling Green October 6th Ham Fest, which is only a hop, skip, and a jump across the Kentucky-Tennessee border there. And it's a nice town. I like going. It's October 6th, Saturday, which would be next Saturday. And of course, the breakfast we have is the following Saturday, which would be the 13th, Saturday the 13th. In case you remember, it's the second Saturday of the month. And don't forget the Bowling Green Ham Fest next Saturday. Well, very good. Any other announcements? All righty, then I've got the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club net, which is on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Excuse me, 8 p.m. on Thursdays. That's 147.105 with a plus offset and a PL of 156.7. That's, of course, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. and it's an Aries net. That's a WC4AR repeater. That's the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club. Then we have the Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, we have the Vanderbilt Amateur Radio Club on their repeater, which is 443.800 plus offset and a tone of 123. That's at 7:30s on 7:30 on Tuesday, or 7:30s on just Tuesday. And I think that's it. Of course, our net is on Wednesday, again, at the same place, same time. Is there any other announcements or need the information and follow up on that? All right, well, today is the day we're going to do the sideband on 2 meters. That's vertical orientation on 144.200. 144.200. That'll follow this net. I'll say that again later. But we got that going on. And let's see, was there anything else? I knew I had something else. Does anybody else have something else? We had a great net last week, or 2 great nets last week. Of course, we had the 70-centimeter net last time, and we also had like 23 check-ins, which was great. Also, tonight's net, if you go on the web, on the YouTube thingy, for the live stream, you can see if there's only one, or I don't know how many are watching. But I got my meter set up here so you can see the modulation in your signal strength right here on the web if you choose to do so. It's blocking my screen a little bit, you don't need to see my screen. You can see the meter. In fact, you can see the modulation I do on this Yeah, just that I can't see it. That's the problem. So anyway, excuse me. Anyway, do we have any questions about the announcements? Well, very good. Well, let me just jump right into it then. We'll start out with the west of Mount Juliet Road, west of Mount Juliet, anything in Davidson, West Wilson County, etc. Please come up. I'm not hearing anything west of Mount Juliet Road. Please come down. All right, hold on, John. I just got the KM4YRF was first there. If I get a pen right here again. All right, KM4YRF. Got it. All right, Michael. I know you're doing fine. I heard you in your talk earlier. Oh yeah, very good. We got a good signal tonight. I always had a question that I put out on the web. What was that question I had? Remember? Did you see it? I have to look up my own question. That's terrible. Hold on one second. I did have a question I was going to pose to people, and it was something pretty simple. Oh yeah, I just wanted to know if you keep a log, an informal log of who you can or can't hear to try to figure out what's going on. Oh yeah, I expect you will. You're right. You're gonna have to get have a row of pencils all sharpened and a couple of pens. All right, very good. That's Michael. Great signal. KM4YRF in Belshire. Who else? I think I heard John in there. Go ahead, John. Oh yeah, he sounds good today. I didn't realize. I've forgotten which antenna he has, and he's got. He does great with a $36 antenna. Ah, very good. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to say that you were trying to substantiate QSOs with all the people in that. Simply, if you're trying to do an informal log to say, hey, this guy I can't hear him. What's up? Where is he? And so you'd be able to keep kind of a record of who you can and can't hear. Very good job, but no, you got a blow my ears off signal when I'm wearing my headset, which I'm doing today. But you sound great. I appreciate you being there. Anyway, that was John, Whiskey 4 Alpha, Whiskey Echo in Bellevue with a great signal. Of course, he's doing about, 90 watts again? All right, very good. Any less just wouldn't be, I think maybe you're one of those that says life's too short for QRP. Yeah, very good, John. We'll catch you later. That was Whiskey 4 Alpha, Whiskey Echo again in Bellevue, at Belshire, Bellevue. The next one, Bell Buckle. Who else west of Mount Juliet? Please come. All right, Jeff, how are you tonight? Well, I'd ask if you're keeping a log, but given what you've been telling me, that it's easy to keep the log. It's me. Yeah, I got you. Well, very good. I'm glad you can hear John over there. Oh, you can hear, yeah, you can hear Michael. You can't hear John over there in Bellevue? Wow. That's because John, like I said, he's got 90 watts on a 360-degree antenna, and I'm surprised you can't hear him. Your antenna, it does have a listening problem, because I can hear you, and I know that there's other stations can hear you as well. I don't know. We'll see. As time rolls on, hopefully we'll see. Well, anyway, that's Jeff. He's in Madison. That's Whiskey Yankee Ford Golf in Madison. Still with a little bit of a, well, his radio has, his rig has a hearing problem. He doesn't hear too many people. I know he hears me, and he just heard the mic over there in Belshire. Who else? We got to turn beams toward him and blow him out of the water. Who else west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County? All right, we'll move around to the south of 40. Please come in. Hey, Preston, sound good. I hear you guys. When I was eating dinner, I could hear you guys just talking away there. Nah, you're doing great. You got one of the better signals on the band. You're going to have to take over net control for me. Yeah, I would think. I know that some people, if they're not keeping a law, they have a mental law, because that's what I'm trying to do is make sure everybody knows verbally from me where the station is anyway and their calls, so that you can, if you want to, you can at least look them up and see exactly where they are to see what the heck's going on, with your station. And that's why I often will ask also what kind of antenna people have and what their location is like and what their height is. It just gives everybody a better idea. And quite honestly, almost everybody, I would say the vast majority of the people on the net have made improvements where they're able to, at least, if not temporarily, if not the final solution to their, their radio issues, at least partially to their, the final solution, I was just looking up 100-foot towers, and they're only total costs, I don't know, anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. Yeah, very good. That's Preston Possum Trot. That's not his last name. He's in Possum Trot. It's Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec, with a great signal, as always. Who else south of 4? Hey, stranger, almost. How you doing, Bob? Oh yeah, no, I was just curious how many people were. I never asked before, and I don't really keep up. I knew of a couple of guys. They just mentioned it to me in passing that they have a notebook of who they can hear and who they can't hear, and others who I don't know if they had a log, but they made changes as a result of just not hearing certain folks. But yeah, no, I just wanted to see if people were trying to pay attention. I know I pay attention to it, as you can imagine. All right, very good, Bob. That was Bob K. Kilo November 4. Alpha Juliet Lima, and he is in what? Dang, I'm gonna get it wrong. I just had it there on the tip of my tongue. Don't tell me. Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say LaGuardo, but I said no, that's not. It's Les Castles. I'm gonna have to go down there and drive by your house so I can solidify it in my brain. Well, it sounds like you're working enough. I'd miss you. All right, very good. All righty, that's Bob. Kilo, November 4, Alpha Juliet Lima in Las Casas. I remember the L, but I couldn't remember the end of it. All right, very good, Bob. Sorry about that again. Who else we got south of 40? Hey, Jim, you got a nice signal tonight. Yeah, in fact, I didn't ask. I should have asked at the front end. I hadn't hooked up this this microphone to this rig. I don't think since I've had it. I was just wondering if it was going to be all right because I didn't check. I didn't see if it was going to do all right. Does it sound like similar to what you normally hear from it? Yeah, very good. And you're on your beam tonight, I take it? Oh, you no longer use the vertical, is that right? See, you're supposed to say, I don't use no stinking J-poles anymore. That's what you had up there, wasn't it? Wasn't that a J-pole you had? Oh, no doubt about it, because you've been, well, since you got the beam, you've been killing me. I don't care. 20 with the gain you have. Let's see if the gain is, the formula for gain is forgetting inefficiencies of the feed line and the rig. It's let's see, it's the gain times the power you put in. So you've got what, 12? So that's 12 times 20 is about 240. I believe it does, because it sounds like you're sitting out on my driveway with a 50-watt rig. Yep, good old Candy Kind. Well, very good. It sounded like the Mutual Admiration Society. We were just getting out of here with our secret handshake. All right, Jim, that's Jim. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. And he's down in Woodbury. He did give me a nice move to remind me it was Woodbury. Who else out the 40? You're probably one of the close south of 40s I got there. Donnie, how are you? Yeah, very good. You keeping a mental, or I think you're probably keeping a little bit of a casual log on who you can hear, can't you? Okay. You couldn't hear Jeff. Yeah, Jeff is, as I said, is in Madison, and he's a little bit in a hole there, so he has some issues. But I'm glad he's there. Anybody who can check in and at least hear me and I hear them, I'm good. You know. Well, appreciate it, Donnie. Your signal sounds great. Nice strong signal. That's Donnie, Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar, and he is about 5 miles south of me, off east of Mount Juliet Road, and that's of course east of First Priest Lake. Well, you can look it up. Who else south of 40, please come up. How are you doing, Jennifer? You're doing great. I take it did you ever get your new antenna up? Oh, fantastic. See, I wouldn't be able to tell. Somebody farther away would be able to tell. I'm sure that there's a number of stations that can hear you now. How far did you get it up up in the roof or in the attic? Oh, awesome. And now the $50 question is, do you keep a log of some type to figure out who you're hearing or not hearing? Do you do that? Oh, so you'll be able to know. When did you get that antenna up? Recently? Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, if you leave it on, I heard you saying, it was a few weeks ago now, but you said that you thought that in ham radio there'd be a lot more activity. So are you hearing more now that you have it on, or do you have it on all the time? Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah, you'd be able to hear. My gosh, almost every repeater that you could look up that's in Davidson, Cannon, Sumner County, Wilson County. I'm sure there's 50 of them you could probably reach easily with your system now. Very good. Well, as long, it's funny. That's what's interesting about analog FM radio, FM ham radio, is that even if you have a bad signal, a weak signal, you can still usually make it out, even if it takes several transmissions. So it's harder to do that on digital stuff. You'll hear digital stuff at some other time, I guess. No, I'm glad that you're up to speed now. Don't hesitate to jump in on conversations you hear during the day or evening or whatever. I haven't heard you out there. Yep, you're always welcome, and it's nice to hear a YL's voice on the air. Okay, thanks, Jen. That's Jen, Whiskey 1, Foxtrot, India Echo. She is over just east of Providence, just south of 40 here in Mount Juliet. Who else do we have south of 40? Please come in. Hold on, David. I had Kilo November 4 Oscar Juliet Hotel, and my memory is fading on that call. Please give me your name and location, please. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I knew what those calls were before, but when your wife changed her call and got that vanity call, it threw me a curve, and I didn't make the connection with yours, Doug. And I think this is, well, besides the Jets Pizza time you got on the air, this is the first time you've been on, I think. Oh, yeah. No, it's good. And I'm trying to get after all, I've been married 7 years in January, and my wife promised that she'd well, not promised. Said she wants to get a license. Of course, she works hard, and she works every day, so it's not something she could easily jump into. One of the things that's neat about husband and wives that have it, if you have HTs, you can communicate, going to events, you can communicate car to car, you can communicate from car to home, it's just adds a whole dimension without having to jump on a cell phone. Well, very good. Well, good to have you in there, Doug. Appreciate you being there. And again, that's Doug, is the other half of the lesser half, I'll say, of Jen. That's Kilo November 4 Oscar Juliet Hotel. And he's in the same location, east of 40, east of Mount Juliet Road, and south of 40, just a little bit east of Providence Market. Who else we have south of 40? Please come in. Hold on. Dave, I'm going to take you first. David, how are you doing tonight? Well, it's been an easy day for me. I haven't done a whole lot. And that's not always a good thing, but it was a nice day. Let's put it that way. Yeah, well, very good. Are you keeping a log? Well, that's what I'm really asking. If you're keeping a casual log of, making note of stations you can't hear, or stations that, well, I guess that would be the key. If you can hear him, then you go, yeah, I wonder where that guy is, and that kind of stuff. So I just wondered if you were doing that. And everybody was doing that for that matter. I mean, I'm doing a log every time we have a net, so it's easy for me. I just wondered if other people were doing similar things, and it doesn't have to be a formal, ARRL log with grid squares, locations, and weather data, etc. Yeah, but you sound good, David. What'd you say you're running on power tonight? All right, very good, Dave. And if David, Kilo India 4 Delta November Delta. Yeah. Yeah, it's Delta November Delta, is it not? Did I get that wrong? Yeah, I'm just making it really, really hard crayon, November, Delta, November. You think I'd know that after all this time. But the mind gets a little muddled. We do a lot of this. Thanks, David. I think I heard Whiskey Victor 4. By the way, that was David. Kilo India 4, November, Delta, November, and he is in Reedyville. When he was on low power, if you couldn't hear him, that's why. But next up, I had Whiskey Victor 4, Delta. How you doing tonight? Didn't we talk earlier? Well, that raises the next question. It's Ken, right? And that raises the next question is, which antenna are you using in Smyrna with receiving all those signals? Yeah, you sounded. You were copying Jeff up there in Madison too? Okay, very good. You're probably in a good location like I am to hear him. Well, you got Percy Priest Lake is a huge bouncing spot, I think, for both of us. Well, at least for you it is, and I'm just closer. Wow, fantastic. Well, you have an excellent signal. I don't know if anybody's looking at the thing, but see, I got to turn my head over to see the meter here. But you can watch it later if you want to on the web, on the YouTube feed. But again, Ken, it was good to have you in there from Smyrna. This is Whiskey Victor 4 Delta, and he's in Smyrna. Well, I was going to ask you about signal. I can't remember which one it was. Of course, you probably copied Donnie as good as anybody. And Jim as good as anybody because he's coming right over top of you. But I was thinking there was another one. How about Michael up in? You said everybody, so I guess you got everybody. Was everybody with a good solid signal? I think that's partly true. We had you were able to hear Steve up in Bowling Green, and also the last net we had, I had Ed down in Shelbyville. Of course, he's got a beam pointing due north, and Steve and he were copying each other well at 105 miles or so. Yeah, very good. Now, I think people are surprised, like you just said. People are often surprised at how good Simplex will work when you tend to think, it's a Simplex, I need a repeater to talk any distance. And a lot of times you don't. And I think that's one of the things that this net has exposed to a lot of people, including myself. Well, very good. That was Ken, and he is in Smyrna. That's Whiskey Victor 4 Delta. Appreciate all the input. Who else we got south of 40? Please come now. Hold on, Larry. I got Larry and I got Robin in there. I'll take the weak signal first. Go ahead, Robin. That was you. You are actually. You are. You're. I just thought it. Yeah, I just noticed your signal was really. It was like 40 over. No, I didn't even know. I have to turn my head because the way I've got the meter here that's in the camera's face. It's not in my face, so I have to lean over to look at it. But I didn't see what Larry's was. But Larry always has a decent signal. He's got a tower and a decent antenna. And, no, you're doing fine, really. It actually sounded lighter than Larry's, and that's why I said that. But how you doing tonight, Rob? Do you keep or have you kept an informal log? Well, I don't know. On the old antenna, it would have been you would use a lot less paper, I think. Well, actually, you need a lot more paper on the couldn't hear with the other antenna. All right, very good. Again, every antenna has a purpose. It's not as if all antennas are crap, you know, all cheap antennas, because quite honestly, if all your, you know, if you just want to use a cheap antenna, all the repeaters, that's great too. All right, very good, Robin. That's Robin. He is in just south of Mount Juliet here, just to the west, between Percy Priest and Mount Juliet Road, about 5-6 miles due south of me. And we had Larry in there, SYV. How you doing, Larry? Just listen. Well, you probably just memorize them all, don't you? Yeah, I imagine you do. Well, you received so well too. Is there any stations you couldn't hear tonight? I'm not too surprised. Robin has a very poor elevation, even though he has an improved antenna. So I'm not surprised. Robin, were you running at full power? Okay, we think so. You've probably been in ham radio how long, and you think so? Okay, full power on the rig that only has microwatts? All right, very good. We're doing that again tonight. All right, very good. That was Larry, Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor, and he is in Rockville. Anybody else south of 40? Thanks for being there, Larry. Anybody else south of 40? I think I'm copying Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Delta Yankee. Isn't that Ed down there in Shelbyville? Well, the signal down is way low. It's probably S1, if anything, but I'm glad I had the headphones on. I'm not sure I would have heard you. It's a very, very, very light signal, but it's a clear signal. I don't hear hardly any hash in there at all. Well, it seems to improve, actually. It sounds good. Well, okay. Well, as I told you, David over in Reedyville's got an excuse called low power, and Jeff's in a bad spot up in Madison. So you're doing real well to hear everybody else. Oh, great. Well, that's a good testimony to your antennas, probably more so than their signals, I think. Yeah, very good, Ed. And of course, that's Ed, Kilo Delta 4, Zulu Delta Yankee, and he's in Shelbyville. I want to make sure I had it. I did get your call correctly, didn't I, Ed? You know, I think I did the same thing last time. Yeah, that's why I asked, because it didn't sound like right when I said it again. So anyway, thanks for the correction, Ed. That's Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee, and he's in Shelbyville. Who else south of 40? And I appreciate you being there, Ed. You're one of our deepest south stations in Jackson. Who else we got? South of 40. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's got a very low audio. I can hear very clear, but low, and that's why I say switch from his beam to his vertical during elocution.
I can't hear the guy. I don't know if they're you. I can't hear the fellow talking. You.
I don't know. Jim, what are you saying? What are you talking? Hold on one second.
I can't hear anybody talking but you.
On what?
On the net.
All right, very good. My wife was trying to tell me something. I couldn't figure it out. If there's anybody, I don't think everybody's hearing the audio coming in from the speaker here. Hold on. All right, somebody come back to me. Hold on, let's do this. All right. I think I missed out on some audio out to the web. But let's do it. Who else out the 40? Please come in. Anybody else out the 40? All right, east of Mount Juliet Road, please come in. All right, I got Jim in there. How you doing, James?
I'm doing fine. They're correct. We haven't hurt anybody but you folks the web.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize this. I wish you would have told me that earlier. I didn't realize it until my wife very poorly told me about it. She says, I can't. She's pointing at her phone, and I didn't realize she was pointing at a YouTube on her phone. And then she's trying to tell me, I can't hear anybody, and I thought she was saying she couldn't hear anybody. That was crazy. One of those typical who's on first things going on. All right, I'm glad you mentioned it, though. Now at least we got some of the people on the audio. All right, who else? Well, I got James. How you doing? All right, and have you kept a log, or informally or otherwise?
I keep an informal log some nights for the people I can hear, and sometimes for ones I can't hear, so I'll look them up. I'll tell you who I've heard tonight. I've heard Paul, Donnie, Jen, Doug, Ken, and Robin.
Ah, very good. Well, you're doing real well for what you got there, inside antenna and relatively okay elevation, but you do fine.
Yeah, Ken was coming in great.
Oh, well, he's in Smyrna, so that's interesting though, because coming in great from Smyrna must be excellent conditions. Because, well, it's still you missed a lot of stations south of 40 in the past. That's why I'm surprised you heard him so well.
Yeah, I can't hear Larry at all, but Ken came in great. I got 7 on him.
Yeah, all righty. Very good, James. And that's James Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India, and he's here in Mount Juliet, just about in the middle, east of the library. Who else we got south of 4 or east of Mount Juliet Road?
P4TWR.
Hey, Wes, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good. I've heard most of the stations. A couple there around Providence couldn't hear them. And that last station south of 40, I couldn't hear. Everybody else, including James and Robin, I could hear.
Yeah, no, Robin wasn't too bad. I was kind of just messing with it. When I looked at the scale, it was like 40 over.
Yeah, don't keep a log, by the way. KD4TW.
Well, I imagine you keep a mental log.
Every once in a while, I'll write down that it's been a long time. And I can hear most people. Even for whatever reason, I can hear most of the people west of you. So that's surprising. I don't know how, but it happens.
Yeah, very good. All righty, that's Wes. Good signal. He's down near just northwest of Watertown. It's Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India and West near Watertown. Who else? Thanks for being there, Wes. Who else we got south of 40 or east of Mount Juliet Road, I should say.
Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo.
Hey, Richard. You sound pretty good tonight.
I'm doing the best I can do. Last net, out of the 23, I heard 7. Net before, out of the 25, I heard, hang on a minute, I forgot my number. I heard 6. So I am keeping a written log of the folks I can hear. But I'm hoping that other antenna will make all the difference in the world.
I'm guessing that it will. You were about an S4 for that entire transmission, which isn't horrible, but I'll know more. For instance, of course, Kevin, as you know, is probably, in fact, I know he has a better antenna than you do. Kevin, I'm going to guess, is 40 over and you were S4. So I think you'll see a big difference when you get a newer antenna.
Perfect. Okay, I just thought I'd let you know I am keeping a log of who I can hear, but it ain't been very many. I'm looking forward to filling the log sheet up next after I get the antenna up. Carry on. See you next, well, not next Saturday, but Saturday week. I may try and get to Bolorino, but anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. KI4S, I'll be back to that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good, Richard. Of course, that's Richard, Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo, and he's over just a little bit west of Lebanon, off of Main Street there. It's actually Lebanon Road at that point. Thanks for being there, Richard. And who else we got east of Mount Juliet? Nobody else east of Mount Juliet. No Kevin. No Stan. No Stan. Nobody?
Hey,
Oh, I had to want to Stan. I got you in there. KM4HQ. Well, I wake you up, or are you just waiting to be up polite?
No, I'm just waiting for some people. I can't hear you because I got the antenna pointed that way.
I got you. You doing all right tonight? Do you keep a log on the Simplex thing?
I have a little log that I did whenever I was comparing the vertical with the beam, but I don't really keep a running log as such.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I suspected was that people wouldn't keep a rigid log, and that's why I say it's really an informal log, trying to understand which antenna works better or which beam works better, or you know what I'm saying. I don't know anybody who keeps a rigid 2-meter log unless you're doing weak signal stuff, you know.
Are you using a box or a foot switch?
I am using a foot switch. Is it problematic?
Yeah, sometimes you drop out for a second.
Yes. Club foot nuts. Yes. I think sometimes my foot isn't connected to my brain or my mouthpiece. So I appreciate the mention. I'll make a point more to keep my foot on. All right, thanks, Stan. That's Stan, KM, Kilo Mike 4, Hotel, Quebec, Echo, and he is just north of left. Stan, give me just a reply one more time. I want to look at the meter.
Again?
Oh, no, you already did it. I wanted you to transmit because I wanted to see what your signal strength was compared to Richard's, and you're about 40 over, and Richard's about S4, and I was just trying to get a comparison from about the same distance, and just to let Richard understand the difference in what that signal strength looks like.
Yeah, I think road-wise, from where I think he's at, that's about 4 miles east of, or yeah, west of me.
Right. No, I'm just saying that I'm guessing that his newer antenna, which has a much higher gain, is going to make a world of difference. I don't have trouble copying him. His complaint, and others have been too, not about him, but about their own antennas, is that they don't often hear everybody they think they should be hearing, and the difference in the gain of an antenna makes a world of difference.
I suspect my footprint's going to change drastically when I get the other antenna out, when I get it.
Oh, I agree. And then I wasn't making a point that, you're doing a bad job. I'm just saying for comparison, you can see that Stan was, infinitive. And again, your signal's great. Don't misunderstand. Full copy, good audio. It's just that it's a lot lower than somebody who has a higher gain antenna.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just messing back. And I really look forward to getting that other one up when I get it. And I'm just hoping how quick that can happen. Y'all carry on. Sorry about that, Stan. Didn't mean to get in the way of your conversation.
Yeah, very good, Richard. No, while I have fun with talking about those things and even, giving little jabs about signals and strengths, and it's not really meant to be a criticism. It's really meant to be fun and a help, because I can't even really describe how much more I enjoy at least the 2 meter, 70 centimeter side of things with a better antenna than I did with my crappy antenna. It's like the difference between, a cloudy day and a bright sunny day. It's just, wow, this is great.
Yeah, that's the other reason I'm looking forward to it. I'm just chomping at the bit to get the damn thing up. Got to get my hands on it first. Y'all carry on. I'm going to shut up, get out of the way, KI4SIB. Thank you.
Yeah, very good, Richard. Good to have you in there. And that's Richard again. He was just double checking that I was right about his less than perfect signal, which I think is going to improve dramatically over the next little bit. Who else? East of Mount Juliet, please come in.
Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo, Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, Jeff, how are you this evening? You sound good.
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Yes, you have about the same. You have a good audio, by the way. I'm doing great. You have a good audio, although you're about the same signal strength as Richard. So you're going to be jealous of Richard if his antenna improves it that much.
That's good. No problem. That's good.
No, it's good. Like I said, your signal is not anywhere. Or Richard's. Your signal's not awful to me. A good copy of it. It's just that the signal strength is about S4, and you hear somebody. And I don't really pay. I don't really. In fact, I rarely have had this. I rarely use this rig and this meter during the nets. It's a little. Well, just don't. I just hadn't even hooked up this microphone to this rig before. But what I was trying to get across was that I'm here. It's very infrequent that I have somebody that I struggle to listen to unless they're 50 miles away with not a great signal. But your signal's fine. It's just, relatively speaking, it's an S4 versus, like Stan's is, 30 or 40 over S9. He's about the same distance you are.
Big difference when you have a good antenna.
Oh, yeah. It's a world difference. Well, anyway, appreciate you being in there, Jeff. No, you're doing a fine job. Good signal. That's Jeff, Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo, Whiskey Charlie, and he's also in the big concentration of folks over in Lebanon, for sure. Anybody else east on Juliet? Come on, somebody run over and wake up Kevin. He's normally in. I don't think I've heard Kevin all day. All righty. Anybody else? Last chance. Well, not last, but second to last chance. Maybe third last chance on east of Mount Juliet. Please come on. All righty. We'll go for late check-ins. North, south, east, west. Hello, Steve. I didn't check you in. I didn't count as a check-in. Steve up in Bowling Green. Still there? Well, he was there early, and he must have bounced out of there. But checking in anyway, since he was the first person on the air, actually, with the announcement. That was Steve Bowling. And he uses I think it's a 3-element beam that he points south towards, Nashville, Mount Juliet. Because there's so much more people to talk to down here apparently. So anyway, Steve's a good guy. He has a good signal coming south here, and I hope I can make that Bowling Green. Hope so. That'll be next Tuesday, or next Saturday. Excuse me. All right. Who else? Late checking, please come on.
Hey, Paul, did you call north?
I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. North of Mount Juliet, north of Lebanon Road, please come in.
No, you did. Well, that's me, K4WT.
Oh, I was just asking for you, and you didn't answer. That's what I said.
Sorry, the XYL just pulled up.
Okay, that's a good reason right there. Yep, I got you in there, Steve. Your signal's good, and guys, we're copying you tonight all the way down south into Shelbyville.
Yeah, and I'm hearing several. I heard K4 SIP. I don't do a roll or a logbook normally, but I'm gonna start. That's that.
Oh yeah, no, it's no pressure. No, nobody's gonna have to submit logs. I just wondered how many people took notes. At least took notes on occasion of who they can hear, or they're surprised. Just for their own purposes. Nobody has to. Nobody's going to be looking over your shoulder on logs in this organization. What little there is. All right, Steve. Good to have you in there. Hey, just to give me one more reply. I wanted to see what your signal was.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, K4, WK.
Yeah, you were bumping up against S5 most of the transmission.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, no, conditions are good. I've heard you in there that well before. It's only when it seems like when bad conditions show up, that's when everything goes crappy.
Okay, well, better hat's coming in. I'm gonna talk to her. Talk to y'all later. K4WK Butler.
Yeah, very good, Steve. And of course, that's Steve Whiskey 4 Whiskey 4 Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo Uniform. I think I got that right. Dang, getting all my calls wrong. Yeah, it's Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo Uniform, and he's in Bowling Green. He's a good 65 miles or so from me north. So if you can't hear him and you're in an odd location, that's why. But he usually has a pretty good signal. And anyway, Shelbyville was copying him as well, and vice versa. Who else south or anywhere north of Lebanon Road, north of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
KU4XQ, Tim in Hendersonville.
Did I hear that right? Kilo Uniform for X-Ray Quebec. Is that correct?
Yeah, what a horrible call.
No, it's not horrible. They're all calls are unique, but that one's very unique.
Yeah, it's almost overwhelming. When I got it, I was kind of disturbed about it, but I got over it. I just I heard y'all in here. I just put the eyes out looking at the sky through the telescope. A good clear night, and had the radio on. Heard y'all in here. I thought I'd just check in and say hi to you to everybody.
Ah, very good. That's Tim and Henderson. But it is Tim you go by, right?
Yes, sir.
Ah, very good. Yeah, you're just a hop and a skip and a jump from me over the well, not really a short one. It's a few miles, but how far up on that? I'm not familiar with where that address is. How far away from that? How far north of the river are you?
I'm pretty, let's see, down New Shackle over by the hospital just about. So, not real far.
Okay, just curious what your elevation was like. That's all.
Yeah, I have, I'm in a hole.
I'm with you. I'm married into this house, so I'm lucky to have the elevation I have. Yeah, I see where you are now. I just looked it up on the map. So your elevation, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's right there within a mile of the lake there. You're not too high up, but you got a good signal. Have you had good luck doing Simplex in the past?
Yeah, I don't get on the radio much anymore. I had a tornado hit my house about 15 years ago, took my tower and everything down. So I've got like a little meter station out here in the shed, small HF stuff, and just get on every once in a while. But yeah, I used to hang out with those guys on the 4.9 Simplex back when they used to do that. I guess back around the early 2000s.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't show up here locally until about 7 years ago, so I had no. Somebody told me about that, and it sounded like a good group of guys on there. And it just, I don't know why. I know why things fade. They fade because whoever is central to that just kind of goes away, and then everything fades away.
Yeah, I believe the guy that actually ran the net and got it, kicked in. I think he passed. So I can't even remember the guy's call. I know his name was Steve, but I think he passed, and it just kind of went wayward.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's usually what happens. I know there was also one here in Wilson County that was, I think it was, I didn't even know it until I was told later. They said, well, we used to have a net here, but some guys were still getting on 146.405. And I said, well, I almost hit it on the money. I only missed it by 10.
Yeah, I think I remember that. It's been a while. Yeah, I always enjoyed Simplex, though. It's, I don't know, it's, I like the simpler stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I joke about. You may have heard me on the air before, but I joke about not liking repeaters, which isn't quite accurate. It's just that once you start doing Simplex and you meet a bunch of guys on the air doing Simplex, you have no reason to really go on repeaters unless you absolutely have to. It's not, you don't have to go there. And I go on them lots of times when somebody's mobile, or, outside of my reach, and I've got a pretty good footprint about some areas about 45, 50 miles.
Oh yeah, you've got a beautiful signal in Hendersonville. I listen to my radio in the morning. I hear you all the way through Rivergate and stuff. But yeah, it seems like I almost come real close to buying a digital radio, but it's just not my scene. I know it's in the love of amateur radio to adventure out and do all modes, and I don't know, it's too
Yep, I got you. Do you ever keep a casual log on when you're doing Simplex? Just to revolve well, if not to keep track, at least to know who you're talked to.
I used to. I haven't in a long time because I think this is the first time I've keyed this radio in probably, I don't know, 5-6 months.
Wow. Well, we got you out of the woodwork then, didn't we, Tim?
Absolutely. I'll try to remember to come back.
Yep, every Wednesday and Saturday, same time, 8 o'clock. And we usually have a pretty good time. And we've had as many as, I think we had 34 check-ins a couple of weeks ago.
Good deal. Yeah, I'll put it in my notes and try to get out here to the shed and fire this thing up every once in a while, rather. 73 is back to the net.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Appreciate you being there. And it was a first-time check-in. Tim in Hendersonville, Kilo Uniform 4 X-Ray Quebec. That is a mouthful. Very good signal, too, but then it's not too tough for me from Hendersonville. Who else north of where I live? North of Mount Juliet, please come in. Anything north of Mount Juliet, please come in. All right, then we shall go to late check-ins. We have any check-ins, south, north, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest.
AN4, M3.
Hey, Jerry, you made it into just the late check-ins.
Yeah, I've been sitting here like the last 5 minutes listening to you. I'm on my smaller radio tonight, but we went and eat out with some of the family and just got back into the lake.
All right, very good. So you're at home now, though?
Yeah, I'm at home, but I'm just talking on the smaller unit.
Smaller being that lower wattage unit, I take.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's all right. you're good signaling to me. I'm going to look at the meter here in a second. I'll tell you what it is. So give me one more time.
Okay, I could hear Ken there talking. I think you said he was KU4XQ. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Kilo Uniform 4 X-Ray Quebec. And he's in Hendersonville. Shouldn't be too tough, but he has a real good signal.
Yeah, I had a pretty good copy on him over here in Murfreesboro. He was doing pretty good in his little shack there.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, you were an S4 on the last one I just looked a second ago, so you're not doing too shabby with the, with the lower power.
Okay. All right, Paul. Well, I won't keep you. I just didn't know if I had time to catch you or not there when I got back in. So glad I caught you, and hope everything went well tonight.
Yeah, going good so far. Appreciate you being there, Terry. And it was Terry in Murfreesboro, Kilo November 4, Mike, Papa, Victor. Who else? South, anywhere, any place. That's right. We're doing late check. I heard just, it was funny. I just heard a thumping around. I couldn't figure what the heck would be making a thumping noise. One of the dogs scratching herself behind. All righty. Any late check-ins? No more late check-ins? And we're moving on to the lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, and scanner listeners. Of course, scanner listeners got to email, text, or call me on the phone. All right, then we'll go ahead and close the net. On the 2-meter side, we're going to move over to 2-meter sideband on 144-200 for those that are able, or for those that can listen, or it's kind of tough to listen to it if you don't have a radio that transmits on that frequency. But I guess you could have, you had a shortwave radio, you probably could. Just a listener or a scanner. 144-200 sideband. Of course, that's upper sideband, and everyone's able to. Usually is vertical, and we'll switch over there in just 1 second. And we had 23 check-ins on the 2-meter side, 2-meter FM net. Good average number for us, and appreciate everyone who's there. Closing the net, we're moving over to sideband right now. K4 together. All righty, we're on the sideband portion of the net. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. Net control for the sideband portion of our 2-meter net, and we are upper sideband on 144-200. Didn't ask what the frequency is in use, but of course I didn't hear anything either. So is the frequency in use? This Kilo 9, who is that? Kilo 9 Oscar India Mike?
Kilo 9 Oscar India Mike.
Wow, very good. We were just conducting a start of a little net on 2-meter sideband, and I'm glad you jumped in there. I'm located in Mount Juliet, in of course Tennessee, and there's some other stations that'll be in there in a minute if you want to hang around.
Hey, what's the location?
Mount Juliet, just east of Nashville. Mount Juliet, just east of Nashville.
Okay.
And where are you located? What was your location, please? All right, hold on. I hear Murray, Kentucky? Is that what I heard was Murray, Kentucky? Oh, that's a pretty good stretch on 2-meter sideband. I'd say they're really good, and you sound real great there too, Jim. So you copied him pretty well out of Paducah? Yeah, I just looked him up. He's 105 miles from me. Yeah, I know you do. That's great. No, I just hadn't heard Paducah on 2 meters. Well, I did. I had it on FM when there were conditions one time with the beam. So I suggest it's probably possible a lot more than I do it. Yeah, very good. I copied it correctly, and he was probably receiving it better than I. But yeah, I appreciate you being in there. And let me just check in a few more guys. We probably have 6 or 7 or 8. Who else checking in on 2 meter sideband? Hey, Bob, sound good. Yeah, conditions are good because that's a pretty good stretch up to Paducah. Yeah, very good, Jim. Bob, excuse me, I'm looking at Jim's name here as I said that. Yeah, you should have a good, strong signal in here, Bob. Who else we got besides Bob and Jim? Please come in. Hey, John, copying you good. Did you copy the other fellas? Yeah, very good. You're a good, strong signal there as well. Let me see, move on here. Who else? Anybody else west in John's vicinity, west of Mount Juliet? Please come in. Anybody north of Mount Juliet? All right. Anybody east of Mount Juliet? Anybody else south of Mount Juliet? Please come in. Hey, there you are, Larry. You sound good. You seem off frequency, but it's probably me or just a difference between you and me. But how do I sound to you? Oh no, I can still hear you fine. It's just that your voice sounds a lot, which it's not lower, it's higher. It sounds a little more like Donald Duck. Yeah, I know. I see. I'll have this rig into the shop here sometime this year. We'll get it figured out. Get it lined up on 2 meters. It doesn't seem to have any of those problems on the HF. All right, very good. That was Larry, Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor in Rockville, which makes, I think, number 6 for us tonight. Anybody else south of 40? Anybody, any place, anywhere, anyhow, 2 meter sideband here from Middle Tennessee. All right, let me just do a recap then. We had me, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. We also had Kilo 9 Oscar India Mike up in Kentucky. I believe that was Alma, if I got that name. Almo, excuse me, A-L-M-O, Almo, Kentucky. That was Bob. I believe that's what he went by. And it was Kilo November 4 Alpha Juliet Lima, Bob, down there in Las Casas. I got that one right. And then we had Jim down in not Reedyville, but in Woodbury, Kilo Echo 4, Tierra Yankee Juliet. And John over there in Bellevue, Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo. And then Larry, of course, down in Rockville, Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor. Anybody else? Got nothing. All right, well, I'll close the net. We had a grand total, what have I just said there? 6 guys check in. And we had somebody who was new to our little group, and that was Bob up in Kentucky. Glad to have him in there. And look forward to the next night on Saturday on FM, but on 146.415 FM. Catch you guys later. 73. I'll be over on the other FM thing when we finish here. K4P.